Now everything is recording and we are ready to do the AMA. In case you don't know who I am Ethan Zerka, and over here next to me is my good
Sakib.
friend and business partner, Sakib Alam. We've known each other for quite some time, and we've done a lot of great business together. It's been just an amazing experience growing our success together. And every day I feel like
Yes.
I'm so blessed to have you in my life, and for us to have connected and been able to do the amazing things that we've been able to do. When I first met Sakib, and I'll give you guys just a little backstory. When I first met Sakib, he was living in Bangladesh. And although Sakib, you were
Yes, I
born
was.
here in the United States, so you're a U.S. citizen, correct?
That's
But because of his
correct.
family and different cultures, it's quite common in different cultures that the youngest son is kind of responsible for the family when the grandfather dies and things like that. So you had to go home basically when your grandfather died, and kind of take over um, all of his estate and his business affairs and things like that. That was kind of your cultural role, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Right. And so, here's Sakib stuck in Bangladesh, and by golly, he was homesick for the US. I could tell from the first day I met you, man, because we were talking about all kinds of things, like when you were living in Louisville, Kentucky, and playing pool, and just doing all the cool things you can do in the US. That, I mean, Bangladesh is a cool place, don't get me wrong, but it still doesn't quite compare to the US, right? It's just very, very different, right? And so, after us joining forces and coming together, we figured out that you could move to Dubai because it stayed very close to Bangladesh, right? It's only like a 2 hour flight or something.
Yeah.
Um, and you could kind of have more of that Western lifestyle, that Western experience that you were longing for and missing so much. So you could remain relatively close to your family duties, but at the same time,
Exactly.
you could kind of get the best of both worlds. And that was also a good place for us for many reasons in a business perspective to open up another company to become a holding company for our other companies. So we could do some creative things with taxes and things like that to make life easier for both of us. And it just all came together. It
Yes.
made sense. We moved there when in 2021. It was December of
2021. Yeah. This is
2021.
our.
And interestingly enough, we had worked together for a number of years, and that was the first time I ever got to
All
shake your hand and meet you face to face.
exactly. I
Right?
mean, we worked together for 2, 3 years before we were able to meet up in person, and part of that was because of COVID, and part of it was because I was in Bangladesh and you were in the US.
Yeah. And what was it that I told you? I said I didn't want to meet you at the airport because I was afraid I was going to hug you. And I didn't want to get in like some sort of, like homosexual violation or something like that. So I made sure that when we met first, that we met at the villa that I had rented for all of us in the company, and it was just it was wonderful. It was fantastic to meet you, and not just you. That was the one really surprise that I got out of this is I got to meet your wife Joy, and your daughter Amira,
Mhm.
who for some reason is enamored with me. She uh,
She
sometimes
loves
I
you.
think she has difficulty, who she likes more, me or you. She loves to come in on our
Yeah.
morning meetings and say hello to me, and we have little conversations and stuff. But yeah, it was just absolutely wonderful to meet you and your family for the first time in Dubai in 2021. And we've done so much. We've come so long. I think both of us were really hungry to make an amazing change in our life, and I think we've been very effective in doing that. And I'm glad to share that with you, Monopolins, as well. I really feel that Tranche 1 did much better than I expected. I think last week, what did I say? I said if we get to 100, 120, I think it would
100,
be amazing. We did
120.
182 mints, which is phenomenal, guys. And
Yeah.
I want to thank all of you for your participation and getting involved with that. And we hope to do amazing things, continuing to do amazing things with you guys and the community as well. So that said, let's jump into Bitcoin. Hopefully my screen is looking okay. Can everybody see my screen all right in the stream?
I can see it okay. If
Okay.
let me
We
see,
can
maybe I can full screen it. Okay, yeah, that's better.
just maybe get a confirmation
So I
from
just
somebody else. Um, Discord only lets you stream at 720p, so it's not amazing quality.
if someone can just send a message in the chat
Okay,
so they
everybody's
can see
okay.
Ethan's
We've
screen.
got confirmation. All right.
Okay.
So looking at Elliott wave theory, what is Elliott wave theory? Elliott wave theory is a theory about how markets move, that they move in 3 impulse waves up and 2 waves down in a 5 wave structure. And there are very few rules to Elliott wave theory. It says that wave 3 is often the longest, but it can never be the shortest. And the reason why I was going for the other direction last week is because that would mean we got a very short wave 3 and a truncated wave 5. And how are we going to get confirmation? There's still a possibility that we are in wave 3. How do we get confirmation that we are now out of wave 5 and into a corrective? Well, see the bottom of this wave
We
4? If we go below that, then that is our signal, that is our confirmation. And then, what happens after that? What happens after, you get the impulse wave up? How do the corrections work? Well, it can work in a number of ways. I think for this case, this is going to be an ABC,
Yeah.
something like that. And probably the A will go below the 4. So if you're looking for an exit point in an ABC, you want to let it get to A first, and then you want to let it rebound to B, and that is where you get out because you've got a confirmation that you're now in a corrective pattern. And again, you're never going to be able to sell perfectly at the top. But this is the indicators that you're looking for. I don't think we're going to get into a complex corrective pattern at all with this. This seems like it's going to be a simple. And then what happens next after we have the corrective pattern? We go into another impulse wave up if everything goes
Hmm.
correctly. So it'd be wave 1, 2, and I think 3 is going to go much higher. Let me kind of zoom out of my screen here so I can shrink everything. All right. I actually think 3 is going to be exceptional in this next pattern. So let's see. And it's very important to understand resistance and
Hmm.
understand, where the lines of resistance, where the market wants to be priced in actions. So using these bands of resistance that we've defined from other periods previous in Bitcoin's history, we can use those as kind of a way to define what the wave pattern or where the tops and bottoms should be in the next impulse up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, using support and resistance
Yeah.
along with Elliott wave theory is very powerful. I mean, they say that after all the technical analysis that you learn, you come back to support and resistance, and that is very true. I mean, that's the most important thing is support and resistance because that plays through the market psychology.
Well, the support and resistance is great for a corrective market because I defined these supports and resistance through the bull
Long
run.
ago.
But once you
Yeah,
break out, you go into no man's land, right?
that's
you
true. Yeah.
you go into a place where there is no defined support and there is no defined resistance, and that's where you have to use Fibonacci and again Elliott wave
Yes.
theory and things like that, and just try to reason it out. Now in the climb upwards, actually I'm going to take this back. I think this is more indicative of a super cycle. For wave
Hmm.
3, I'm going to say we're going to do something smaller. I think for wave 3, I think we're going to go to something like this.
So in this case, you're saying wave 5 would be okay, wave 3 would still be the longest wave.
Yeah, it's still going to be the longest wave. And then that gives us plenty of room to do a wave 5 to go up to the new all time highs. But I'm going to say it's going to look something like this. Wave 3 is probably going to go a bit higher. Yeah, so wave 3 in the third super cycle wave structure is going to break a new all-time high. And then we're going to have a correction. And then after the correction, it's going to go nuts. And probably the last wave, I don't
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't want to
Well,
be a Bitcoin maximalist or anything, but I think it's going to do something wild. Um,
well, I mean, according to the stock to flow, we're supposed to be at around 400,000, right?
More than 400,000. So according to the stock to flow, well, okay, historically we can see always every bull run goes way above the stock to flow. Even the last one that was kind of crummy, it still went above the stock
Mm-hmm.
to flow price predictions. And as we discussed last week, anytime we go deeply under the nexus, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
where the price action should be. Anytime we go deeply under that, when we get into the bull run, we have to make up for that. So see all this empty space here and see all this empty space
Yeah.
above, we kind of compensated for that. And you can see that in this bear market cycle, we are deeply under the stock to flow. So, again,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make any, like crazy predictions or anything, but I think we're going to go close to the $1 million mark in this next run up. Either 600, 700K, something like that. Now, it's not going to stay there forever. And I have to stress this to you guys, just because it's going to hit that number, it might hit that number just one day and then immediately drop like a stone. Um, but
Go
it'll
off
give you
top.
an idea. And if you can sell at any point above the stock to flow, you're doing good for yourself in Bitcoin, right? And if you can buy at any point below the stock to flow, you're doing good for yourself in Bitcoin. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's going to be something amazing. We might kiss the $1 million mark for a day. I don't think we're going to get there, but if we do, it would not surprise me. Would not surprise me at all. Okay, so that's
I
kind of yeah. Go ahead, Sagib.
I was gonna say, if you remember back in 2016, 2017, when I mean we didn't think that Bitcoin was gonna go above 10K, and then it went above 10K, and then it kept going up, and then went all the way to 20K, and I was like, when is this gonna stop?
Right?
You
It,
know,
it
that was
was
that was my
it was a frenzy, and stock to flow back in 2017 predicted that it was going to reach 4,000.
4,000.
And it actually went up to
Mm-hmm.
20,000. That's four times higher than what stock to flow predicted. Again, using history as our guide, stock to flow says it's going to go to 467,000. If we 4x that, that's a number well above $1 million.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to do the 4x, but even if we do a 2x, it would not surprise me at all. At all, in the least, it would not surprise me. So yeah, we're primed, Monopoly as a project to, really, really do some amazing things. Um, Ideally, when the frenzy happens and we consider the tranche liquidation, you don't want to immediately buy back in. What you want to do is you want to wait until these corrections start coming in, and then you
Exactly.
consider. And it can take about 6 months, so it might be a 6 month wait before tranche one, before the refresh is completely done. But the good news is that we do have all the infrastructure in place, and we will be able to do things like hosting, or
Yeah.
probably what I would do, Sakib, honestly, is no, I wouldn't do that either, because like the S9s. Remember the S9s that we bought?
Yeah, I remember
The
that.
value of
That's
those just fell
different.
through the floor. And the truth be told, like you can't even sell them now. So I was thinking we could do something in that 6 months to utilize the power for something.
I think the safest thing to do would be hosting, because then we
Yeah,
wouldn't,
but who's going to host for 6 months?
that's true.
Right?
Well,
Especially at our power
it
costs.
might
Like,
take, yeah, yeah.
so we're gonna have to
Mm.
figure out something to do in that interim. You know what? I'm wondering if we can buy like some sort of, like right now is a perfect time to buy miners because the price of Bitcoin is going low.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering if we can buy like some reserve miners or something and then overclock them so we don't need as many miners, but we can like overclock the
right.
crap out of them and just run them through that period and keep generating earnings.
And
And
that's
basically, these machines, they're going to be throwaway machines. So they're not going to be machines that we're going to be able to sell or make any kind of profit for or anything like that. But they're just going to get us through that corrective interim until
mm,
we buy in. Now, normally what we do, guys, is we just sell the machines and we take a vacation for 6 months.
yeah.
That's normally what we do. But now that you guys are involved, the community is involved in this project, I really want to make sure that every part of the cycle you guys are leveraging and making some sort of earnings or rewards or something like that. And then when the correction comes and the prices go way, way down, that's when we will do the refresh. And this time you're only paying for the machines. You don't have to pay for the infrastructure. The infrastructure is already built out. It's already ready to go. So those NFTs should be substantially less than
Yeah.
the first generation, the first phase, I should say, of the NFTs. And so you guys will be able to leverage that even further. And
And
that
yeah,
kind
the
of,
current
yeah,
holders
go ahead. Yeah.
are the ones that are going to get first dibs on those. The current holders who supported us during this time are the ones that are going to get priority.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that
Oh,
kind of brings me to another question. We had a user say, hey, for 420 USDC, I can buy, this much Bitcoin and I can just hold it. And that's true, you can. But when you're just holding that Bitcoin, you've got a one trick pony, right? You've got that
mhm.
Bitcoin that stays static in a wallet, and then you got to hold on to it for, this year, that year, whatever. And then you sell it, but then you don't have, another asset that has another value that you can sell, and you don't have an asset that can continually and through a life cycle continue to generate more and more revenue streams. It's just a one trick transaction. And if you
Yeah.
guys see anybody in the groups with this kind of mindset, please take the time to explain to them that what we're doing is we're doing a cycle, a life cycle that, generates more and more wealth as each cycle continues along. And that is way different than just simply buying Bitcoin and holding it and then selling it one time. Now, you could do a situation where you sell it at the top and then you wait for the bottom again and buy back in, but you can do the same with our project, right? You can take these earnings and you can sell it at the top. And what's really cool is, you don't have to figure it out yourself. You're going to have me and Sakib, who have been doing this for years and
Hmm.
years and years and years and years, give you all the information that you need to make that decision to where you can feel comfortable and confident, like, okay, this is the right time. Because doing it by yourself, that's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
So you won't be alone in this. You'll have, our experience and our wisdom. And the stock to flow it's pretty solid. I mean, it shows with absolute clarity that when it changes from that yellow to this sort of lime green, get the hell out. It's it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. There's no nonsense. There's no guesswork to it, and it's shown us predictably and reliably every single time. That is the time to get out. Um, but yeah, so as each cycle continues, and you buy the miners low, and you buy back in the Bitcoin low,
Hmm.
and you cash out. I mean, the ability to generate wealth compounds. And you can't do that with just a
Exactly.
simple buy and sell with Bitcoin. I mean, you can if you're a scalper and you have $200,000 and you're just scalping pennies here and there, but that is a crazy hard job to do. It's crazy hard to be successful
It
like
is.
that. This is, the ability to get more rewards, more earnings for the everyday person with a no nonsense, simple business strategy, simple business plan that will continually and cyclically generate wealth. All right. So,
I'll give you a small example. Like when I first got into crypto, I had a little bit of money, and I think it was like maybe a few $1,000s, and I invested it in Bitcoin, and I thought, I'm just gonna hold this, and I'm not gonna touch it. But but greed got the better of me. I saw the markets are moving, and I started trading with it. And lo and behold, at the end of the day,
did
I
you trade
lost it
your way
all.
out,
Uh,
Sakib? Did you trade your way out?
Well, I mean, I leverage traded when I first got in, and I basically got liquidated.
Oh,
And then I
yeah.
realized that I should have been mining all along. So then after that, I started, building my mining rigs, and I realized that if you mine, you're getting it at production cost, and you're able to accumulate it over time. So you don't have to worry about, what is this Bitcoin doing in my wallet? Maybe I should be making more of it. You have a steady stream of hash results that you're
Absolutely.
continuously getting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a completely different world. And I think we all have our traded out stories where we bought into something and we thought we were going to make money. We made some bad trades and we ended up losing money. I think that's pretty common in the industry. In this
Yeah,
situation, you don't have to worry about those mistakes. You can still make
exactly.
mistakes with your hash results, that you get in your wallet, but you still have an opportunity, to continue to get those results as long as the tranche has not been liquidated. Um, and so, yeah, that's extremely different than just simply buying and holding. It's very different.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to continue on. And Sakib, should I mention the friendship promotion that we're going to
I
do?
think let's save that for last maybe, because I still see we have about five members in the audience. So if we can get
Well,
maybe
we're
a few
recording
members.
this. We're recording this, so I don't
Okay.
want to, most people's attention span, doesn't hold water beyond, 15, 20 minutes, right? What is it? I think I read an article that said 3 minutes. Like if you don't get their attention in three
Yeah.
minutes, you've lost them. Um, so
Yeah.
one of
Go
the
ahead.
things that I would like to introduce that we're going to do different with Tranche 2 is we're going to run a contest for, well, okay, first things first. Let's introduce the James Pelton AMA. We've got an AMA with James Pelton that's going to be happening next Tuesday at noon Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
When we hope all of you guys will attend. I'm sure that it's going to be he's got a huge audience. So there's going to be a lot of people that have never heard of our project, that don't know anything about our project. And one of the things that I love about you Monopolians the most is that you've all really taken some time to ask great questions and understand how the project works. And I've even seen you guys answering other people's questions, new people coming in the chats, and that's phenomenal. I want to encourage you guys to participate with us and Peloton. And I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to ask questions, and you guys are just going to be a wealth of information. So please, I encourage you, join us in the Peloton AMA. But another thing, let me give another exciting announcement that I'd like to add. Another exciting announcement is that for Tranche 2, we are going to do a campaign for friends and family. We want all of you guys, any of you guys, that if you have any friends, if you have any family that you would like to at least be a part of the Mineopoly project, or you'd like to share the Mineopoly project with, we're going to give away free memberships to all friends and families. And the Monopolin that brings the most friends and family will win. What did we say? One NFT or two mining
One
NFTs?
one mining NFT.
Okay. one mining NFT, and that's just in case like there's three of you that tie or something like that. We'll give all three of you a Mineopoly NFT, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. We're going to try to organically grow as much as possible our community and our channel, and we want you guys to be an integral part of that. If you're parts of other channels that are similar projects or something along those lines that or you made some friendships in those channels and you would think that Monopoly would be interesting to them, we are willing to give them a free membership just for you bringing them into our group. They don't get a free mining NFT. That's what you will get if you bring the most people. But yeah, we're very excited to share that with you guys. And again, we cannot thank you guys enough for all of your participation and all the things that you've done to make this project a success. And we want it to continue. And Sakib, do we have any other announcements?
Yeah, I also wanted to go over Tranche 2 and the updates that we made,
Okay, sure.
moving the contract over. So obviously, a lot of you have seen that we've heard you guys. You want to mint multiple NFTs, and
Absolutely.
so now you have the ability to mint multiple NFTs in one shot, and you can save gas that way. And I see that a lot of you have already done that, and that's excellent. We have also incorporated buying NFTs with credit cards, which is another request that many of you have asked for, and we're glad to see that a lot of the community members have already taken advantage of that. And we also have cross-chain payments. It is only through ETH at the moment, so that is what our payment gateway is offering. So you're able to purchase an NFT directly with ETH if you don't have USDC or you don't want to transfer into USDC and you have ETH, you can directly buy our NFTs with ETH. And we also have, last but not least, for the Tranche 2 to Tranche 5 NFTs, for the Monopoly NFTs, we have a new design. So you will see that once
Yeah,
they are minted.
whoever gets to buy the first one gets to see the new design, right? So the collector's editions, those are all gone. Well, at least until we liquidate and we refresh the tranche, and then we're gonna reopen it for the full amount again. So hopefully you guys will have an opportunity to collect more of those, but it's not gonna happen for at least a couple of years now. And you guys were smart to get in on it early. Another thing that I'd like to mention or I'd like to add is that we've completely rewritten the contracts. Um, you got to understand mining is our area of expertise. So NFTs, we learned a lot, and we learned a lot from your feedback. So thanks so much for that, guys. We incorporated so many features and functionalities into this contract that we didn't have in the original contract. For example, I have the ability to mint NFTs straight from the contract. So I can go here, I can connect the admin wallet, and I can start minting out membership NFTs and things like that. And all I have to do is pay the gas for it, right? Whereas previously we literally had to take our own USDC and buy the NFT. Yeah, it was good for a test run, right? But with your all's feedback, we incorporated a lot of features and a lot of functionality into the contract that now give us that are going to give you guys a better experience overall, and it's going to give this project a better feel and experience overall. And I also had to learn how to code contracts too, so that was another thing about this project is I had to fire up my old coding skills. And let's see if I can pull this up real quick here. Let's see. Let's go back. Go back to the
We
desktop.
have someone who is requesting to speak as well.
Sure, go ahead. Let them.
All right. Hi, Anita. Uh, sent Anita 27. Mm,
Did you allow Anita to speak?
yes,
It
yes,
says
I
only
did.
stage moderators can see this. Let's see.
And we have a question from McFly22. He's asking, when would other chains be in the works?
That has to do with our payment processor side with paper, and we are working on that. It should be a setting or something somewhere, and we will be happy to enable that as soon as it's available on our side to enable it. But yeah, as you guys can see, like I had to go through and write out all this code for the contracts and then test it, and I'm actually quite impressed that given how rusty my coding skills are, that things went through as flawlessly as they
Mhm.
did. We didn't have any hiccups, we didn't have any problems or anything like that. Um, yeah, what do we got to do to
Yeah, and
allow
another
Anita?
thing is everyone that oh, okay, just
Yeah, go ahead and
everyone
allow her.
that go ahead. Yeah, let's see. Everyone that minted an NFT in tranche one on the previous contract, they already received the NFTs on the new contract, the membership and
Yeah, we
the
had
mining
to
NFTs.
pre-mint everything on the new contract and then migrate those new mints to all the old contract holders. Um, I haven't heard anything from anybody saying that they didn't get their NFT or they're missing anything. Everything looks good on my end. So we will give it until I think next week, and then we will retire or just completely remove the old contract. And hopefully, all those duplicate NFTs will disappear from your wallet. I'm not quite sure how that works, but as I said, it's a learning experience for us, and so we're going to learn something new, I guess. And it looks like you just want to get some update. Can you be more specific? Because I think we've been giving updates about everything that's going on.
I just asked her for her question.
Okay.
I think because she's okay, she's typing.
Okay. I'll continue on while she is typing. But yeah, so these new contracts are much more powerful than our original contracts. And yes, everything is being recorded, and it's being recorded on OBS on my local machine. So you guys should actually be able to see the recording better than what you're seeing now. Right. Would like to have some guidance on our project. Okay, well, then I'll just do a brief overview again, really quick. Mineopoly is a project that considers the entire mining life cycle of the mining for cryptocurrency. And in a lot of other projects that we're looking at, they're only focusing on the hash rate results or the rewards that are generated from mining. But Sakib and myself, being longtime miners, we understand that actually there's a lot more to mining than just simply getting the rewards from the cryptocurrency. That the miners themselves have an intrinsic value to them. And let's see here. I think I X'd out
Yeah, I
the.
don't believe
Oh,
there's
yeah.
any other projects out there that are
Yeah.
taking that into account.
So if we're looking at the stock to flow, and let me explain this in a little bit more detail. If we're looking at the stock to flow tells us that in the next Bitcoin bull run, we're going to reach the 466 or above region. And if we input that number, I'll just say 470, right? And the hash rate, let me look at hash rate index really quick. Mm-hmm. I'll just go straight to the site here. If we look at, let's see, rigs. Sakib, do you know offhand? Oh, there we go. Hash rate pools, blocks, tools, maybe. Do you know where
Are
the,
you looking for the hash rate?
yeah, the chart?
Yeah, the ASIC.
Yeah,
Okay, one
where,
second.
let's see, converter, calculator.
Yeah, I'm sharing it with you in the group. Right here. I'll share it. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Visit the site. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, let me get back to this page. As you can see, the
And
price,
go
let's
to
go to all here so we can see it better. As you can see, the price per terahash varies greatly during the bull runs, and also depending on how efficient of a machine that you are running, right? So we can see in the last bull run, we got above $120 a terahash, um, under 25 watts per terahash. So the miners that we're going to be running are going to be 28 watts per terahash. So we can kind of use this as a rough guide, if you will, or a rough estimate of how much we can sell the miners for per terahash. And at $470,000 a Bitcoin, I think $150 a terahash is quite reasonable.
I think that's pretty like a very low expectation.
Yeah, I think it's probably on
But
the bottom
yeah,
side. But when you factor that in, when you factor in the amount of Bitcoin earned before the liquidation and the price per terahash that we can sell the machines for, that's a substantial earning, right? So in
hmm
tranche one, you know, the mining NFTs or the Mineopoly NFTs, they only cost 420 USDC. Tranche two, they cost 440 USDC, and that's what we're open on now. And as each tranche closes, we'll go to the next tranche and the price will go up higher and higher and higher until we get to tranche
and each
five.
tranche is 21 days.
Yeah, each tranche is going to be 21 days. We have a nice little timer on our website that explains all of that. And if you look, it explains you will need a membership in order to mint a Monopoly NFT. And the membership is needed for a lot of reasons. Mostly, it's needed because we want to make sure that all the rewards that are generated from the project are given to the holders, that we don't have to pull out of those rewards to build technology stacks and things like that. Also, it keeps us from passing the Howey test, which makes this so it's not a
Mhm.
security. You may have noticed that we had to reword some things on our website. Like I said, fundamentally, things haven't changed, but we just kind of have to dance around things a little bit so we don't fit into the shape of a security. Um, yeah, that's it. Rebel, Rebel, you hit the nail on the head. It's as simple as getting a membership NFT and then getting the miner NFT. That's it. And you guys don't have to worry about much beyond that. I will say though that with the membership, this is what gives you a voice in the community. This is what gives you a voting capacity, which I think is really important for the destiny of this project. And obviously, Sakib and I are not going to put bad choices in front of you, but maybe a good, better, best situation, and then let the community decide on how things should go. But yeah, it's a pretty simple, pretty straightforward project that allows you the opportunity to hash Bitcoin at a production cost, and then at the right point, at the right time in the market, liquidate those machines that were doing that work for you and profit from that as well and benefit from that as well. And like I said, just using the historical figures that we have, we're not pulling numbers out of imagination. We're using real facts that have happened in the past to base our projections on the future. And based off of that, yeah, this is going to be an amazing project for everybody who participates. Hopefully that answered your
Silver
question.
Fruits has a question.
Okay, Silver Fruits, your question.
Are you guys going to be using the What's Miner M50?
Yes, I believe currently that is the miner that we are looking at. We are also examining some other options. To be more specific, we're examining possibly doing a hydro solution. I'm trying to figure out the balance between the cost of additional infrastructure to do hydro. And let me
hmm
deep dive into that. So Sakib and I had a conversation earlier this week. Is everything going to go to hydro? Is that the future?
Right.
right? And so if we buy air cooled machines in this cycle, are those machines not going to be as desirable when it comes to liquidate? Because then everybody is going to be on hydro when the liquidation happens. And we're still running all the numbers. We're still, figuring it out. I think it's a gamble either way. And I can't see, I can see a case for the air cooled miners, right? And I can see a case for the hydro
Hmm.
miners, right? Because if the hydro miners become the new thing, and the industry swings that way, then we're going to actually be able to reap that decision. If it's not there, it's going to penalize us. It's going to be harder to sell those machines. Now, what I'm thinking though is in that 2 year interim, even if it's still not
That's
mainstream,
right.
there should still be many possible buyers for those machines.
Hmm.
My concern is this is whenever a bull run happens, right? It's not just the institutional miners because we're smart. We're buying now. We're building out infrastructure now. So we won't need to buy in the bull run. Who wants to buy in the bull run is the everyday person, the people going to eBay and spending $1,000 on an S9 that we bought 6 months ago for $8. Those are, that's
Right.
where the market goes crazy. That's where it changes. You get all these people, real estate agents, construction company owners, like they all get the buzz of Bitcoin going up higher and higher and higher, and they all want to jump in, and that's when they want to spend $3 million, $5 million into building a project out that by the time it gets built, Bitcoin is peaked and it's now collapsing, and they always get wrecked.
Always.
So, what are your thoughts, Sakib?
Personally, I think that hydro miners are going to be mainstream in the next cycle. That's just my personal opinion
Yeah,
from what I'm seeing in the industry. Right now, it's still at a point where hydro miners are lower in demand than air-cooled miners because of the
yeah,
added
but you got to
infrastructure.
think two
Uh,
years ahead. Do we think? I mean, Bitcoin just announced the new S21, which is a Hydra only miner.
yeah,
We know from our contacts and our connections in the manufacturing side that the Hydro initiative is being pushed. We know it's being pushed with What's Miner. We know it's being pushed with Bitmain.
yeah,
So, but see that here's the problem: is we've seen Bitmain push things in the past too. Like they push server blades and they push Wi-Fi wires that are miners that didn't need any network enable. They just use Wi-Fi. Dust is not really an issue, Rebel. I'd like to kind of tackle your question. Dust is not really an issue. I mean, any seasoned veteran in the mining industry knows how to minimize dust. It's part of just a mining operation that every 6 months or so you go through. You get a leaf blower and you blow the crap out of the machines. And as long as you're doing everything proper, and we've seen lots of farms that are just absolutely terrible, but as long as you're doing everything proper to maintain the farm, dust really shouldn't be an issue. Now, we do get situations, and this is something that I've noticed over and over again, being a broker for many years, is, we've sent clients perfectly good machines that work perfectly. They plug in, they are 100% doing the hash rate. But for some reason, all these people, they want machines to look good. The mining
right.
machines themselves, they're ugly as hell. I mean, I don't, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but to me, these things are ugly as hell. And I don't care so much. I mean, obviously, if it's got dust that's caked in there and the machine's overheating, then I'm going to be upset about it. But, with a little bit of dust on it, just like normal use dust, man,
That's
as long
normal.
as
Yeah.
it's working, I'm happy. That's great. But we've got people that are like, they're rubbing their finger on it. And they're like, I want a refund. So it's like, we can't give you a refund, dude. Like, plug it in. Does it work? Yeah, it works. Is it overheating? No. But it looks ugly. Well, I mean, clean it up. Get a rag, clean it up. Like, make it how you how you want it. But what you bought is a machine that does a task, and that machine is perfectly doing that task. So there's no problem. It doesn't matter how it looks. But yeah, we get that
Yeah.
all the time. We haven't had that in a while though. But yeah. Um, so yeah, dust it's just part of the industry and part of what it's all about. And with the water curtains, especially the dual water curtains, are very effective at removing the dust from the air. To give you guys a closer look, if you look at our mining in the UAE video, these miners, well, now they've been running almost a year, Sakib.
Yeah, they've been running about here.
Let's get a closer look here. I mean, as you can see, there's a little dust around these fans. That's normal with any miner, with any mining machine. I'll kind of zoom in here. But none of these machines are exceptionally dirty or filthy. They don't have like bugs in them. That's another big problem is
Hmm.
bugs getting into a farm. I've seen machines
Yeah.
clogged up with moths. Moths just for some reason love to fly into those machines and get clogged up. But you know, this is just a typical use, dust that you would see in the air. And again, every 6 months or so, we will take a leaf blower and blow out the air the opposite way, and that usually clears a lot of things out and keeps them from getting too dirty. All right, we've got another speaker here, or Sakib. It looks like perhaps you dropped out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so for a second.
That was freaking me out there for a bit, but everything is still recording on my end, so it should all be good. Um, no, the
The friend.
friend promotion. What do you think, Saki? We should do it for the first 2 weeks of the 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so
That way,
from now and for the next 14 days, and we're going to be doing some amazing stuff. So we've got Peloton on Tuesday next week, and then we're going to be doing Voss the following week. So there should just be
right.
like a waterfall of new people and new interest and new curiosity into our project. And we actually are not expecting Tranche 2 to make it the full 21 days. If everything goes according to our marketing efforts, I don't think it's gonna make it the full 21 days, which is great news for the Tranche 1 holders because that means we will immediately combine you guys with that tranche and we will just start the build out. And
Mm-hmm.
speaking of starting the
Yes.
build out, Sakib, can I show them
Yes, please show
our
them
build out?
the video.
Okay. All right. So, I wanted to show you guys just real quick the difference between a 1 megawatt transformer. So this is a 1 megawatt transformer in here,
Mm-hmm.
and this over here is a half a megawatt transformer. So yeah, notice the size difference. This is the big daddy, and this is the little
Mm-hmm.
baby. But yes, so let's kind of just go over this real quick here. This is a new facility we're building out. It's a full megawatt, and they've made some changes in the rules over there. So for the megawatt transformer, we have to actually build a separate room to, just think of it as like this is the main circuit breaker for this transformer. And so we have to house all the electrical systems for that transformer in here as just kind of a safe gap between the grid and our operations. And previously, we didn't have to do that, correct, Sakib?
Correct. And we also have to do a power factor correction, even though
Yes.
there's not really a need for it.
You're talking about the caps, the capacitors?
Capacitors. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get to that part on the video here. Yeah, so see these
There it is.
huge
There it
caps?
is.
Yeah, this is a big cap bank. So reminds me back in the good old days when I was doing car stereos, right? You put the big old cap
Mm-hmm.
on your
Hubs.
amplifier so when the bass would drop, it wouldn't like destroy everything in your
Yep.
car. So something very
Exactly.
similar is being established here, and that's a new safety feature that we have to integrate. What's really cool about our project is we're working very closely with the building departments and the utility um, to
Mm-hmm.
to build safe and resilient mining systems. And so anything that they suggest, anything that they want us to do, we're happy to cooperate with that and be a part of that. But here's the structure itself that we're building out.
Concrete structure. Yeah.
There's a worker there.
It's a concrete. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing concrete so that we don't have any issues with dust storms or anything like
Yeah,
that
so recently
affecting.
there was a huge streak of bad weather through the UAE, something that hasn't happened in over 30 years, and it did a lot of damage. It Fortunately our operations are okay, but we heard some other operations in the area, their little, trailer sheds or whatever that they were mining out of like blew down. Thinking of it like the story of the three little pigs, right? And the wolf huff and puff and I'll blow your house down. Well, our houses are made out of stone. Their houses were made out of flimsy sheet metal and stuff like that, and their houses blew down. And this
Yeah,
is the
there. I
reservoir
heard some.
for the water curtain. So this is kind of the reservoir for all the water to go down in, pump out into the water curtain that we recycle. And yeah,
Those are the
so
rooms. One is the operator room.
yeah, it's not pretty yet. Actually, Sakib, this you did this like when did you make this video? There should
This
be
was
some updates.
about a, yes, there are
All
some
right,
updates.
see
This
if you
is
can get
about
some
one
updates.
and a
We
half months.
Another thing to note too is Sakib is going to go on vacation for a week. So Sakib has been working very hard, and he's now getting a much needed, much deserved vacation. So after your
Thank
vacation,
you.
see if you can go and get an update for everything.
Yes, well,
Instead of just showing like empty rooms, you can actually show that the bathroom has a toilet and has a shower. The kitchen actually has a sink. It's not just an empty concrete room. But yeah, really
we treat
exciting
our
things.
operators.
We do. We take good care of our people. People are really important to me because without the efforts of other people, I couldn't have the life that I have. So I'm always very grateful for everybody that's in my life. But yeah, I think that's all the exciting news that I have for this AMA. Does anybody else have any questions or anything like that?
Just to clear, like as far as the friend promotion, after 2 weeks, are we going to do it on the AMA or according to because they need to keep a record of how many people or
Hmm.
friends and families that they've brought into the Discord.
Well, we'll need to keep a record
So
because I'm going to have to mint out the memberships through the admin interface, through the contract interface. So you'll have to, let us know who your friend is and what their wallet address is. And then I will send out the mint and we'll keep it in our spreadsheet. So just like the gas reimbursement, folks, everybody should be reimbursed with their gas. We keep spreadsheets and we keep, the transaction. Everything's all documented. It's all on the blockchain. It's all verifiable. We'll do the same with the friends promotion. So when you bring in a friend, we'll start a spreadsheet for you and we'll list, all the friends that you brought in. And whoever has the most at the end of 2 weeks will get one Monopoly
eh,
NFT. And if there's a tie or a
exactly.
three-way tie, then all three of you will get one Monopoly NFT. I'm willing to take that risk.
Yes. And I will announce that in the channel as
Yes, we
well.
will do an official announcement. All right. Well, this AMA has been about an hour long, and if there aren't any other questions or anything anybody would like to
I don't
say,
see any.
we'll wrap it up then. And thank all of you guys for all of your participation. We look forward to Monopoly becoming a fantastic opportunity for you. The used miners sell depending on where the market is in the cycle, but we think we reasonably are going to get about $150 per terahash if we liquidate at the right time.
Yes.
That's a very good question, but you can find out more by going to data.hashrateindex /chart /ASIC price index. And that'll give you an idea of
Yeah, I
where the
shared it,
prices are for the current market and where they can go in the bull run. All right, guys,
and it has been shared in the chat.
I'm gonna wrap it up here. It was great talking with all of you. It was great questions from all of you, and I was happy to meet you. And we will have another AMA next Friday, so make sure to clear your schedule and tune in for that. And until then, let's have a great weekend and a great week ahead.
Take care, guys.
Take care.